Seems like it's time to get started, doesn't it? But we are missing the critical mass of core team for the core team sync. Let me shame some people in Slack.
Hello. Hi, Emily.
Hello.
I was really just waiting for you to start the meeting. I could just join secretly late. And I went
As I asked, did you get shamed into joining, Terrence?
Yep. Emily basically shamed me into joining.
I was going to kick off the meeting, but
But now that I'm here, you don't feel the need to.
I don't want to take away your favorite part of the week.
Well, we're live on YouTube, so we can check that off the list. Did you already do that? Just tell people to sign in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the only reason we hadn't started yet was didn't seem like we had a quorum.
Cool. Well, I think with Joe and I, you probably have enough quorum, right?
Oh
wow.
I'll stop teasing. I can run the meeting. None of your faces are new, so I'm moving on to.
Well, Sam got a haircut, so that's kind of new, right?
Mm-hmm. Same face, new head.
New head.
Moving on to outstanding spec PRs. Let me share the screen here. Is that the right screen?
Yep.
Yeah, that's the right one. Okay. Skipping things at the bottom that are in draft. Distribution spec.
I just recently made some changes based on, I think, some of the last outstanding items that you and I were talking about, Emily. I think that should be good to go now. So yeah, let me know. I think otherwise, everybody else, I believe, has already signed off.
Mm-hmm. It seems like the only outstanding thing that we haven't closed the discussion on is order TOML.
Right. And we could bring it up in a working group if we'd like to talk about whether to encompass that in this. I mean, no matter what, I think it makes sense to have a larger discussion about it because I'd also like to get rid of it, but I know that there's counter arguments to be made.
I feel like not speccing it as required also isn't necessarily the same thing as just getting rid of it. It's like, you could have it in there. It's just not required.
Yep. So is that something we'd like to continue discussing, create an issue for, and punt it? What's the best path forward?
I would propose that we change this to a may, but if there's still objections, we could create an issue and punt it. Like if there's consensus right now that would be okay, we could just do that one small tweak, or we could punt it.
I don't know. Is Jesse on the call? I can't see.
I am. I mean, we can. I guess I don't feel too strongly about it. Like I don't. Yeah, I don't know. I like the idea that the builder contains an order TOML, but I'm not, I guess I'm not, it's okay. I'm fine with whatever.
I mean, no pressure. We don't have to make the decision right here, right? It's just more or less what we want to do. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll defer it to you. If you want to talk about it later, we can. If you want to put it on like an agenda to talk about some other time, that works for me.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
All right. Moving on to finalize project descriptor. Seems like Javier's left some feedback here.
Yeah, I saw some of this stuff come through and I haven't kind of gone through it all. And I'm still pulling together release notes when I get a chance for kind of putting all this stuff together that people can also review. Because I think Joe did that last time as well while you were out. So maybe you've also been doing it.
Yeah, I think I put that in the release process that I dumped
Release
on you guys
review.
before I left.
Yeah.
Cool. That one clearly needs more reviews, so reviewers review. I think this both has a lot of approvals, but I'm not sure we should actually go ahead with it. I think we instead should close it in favor of removing the key in the next API.
Could we just merge it and then merge over it later?
We could definitely do that.
Fine either way.
I
This is
just
a
like
pretty
that.
This is pretty small change, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, I think that is a good idea, Natalie. That we can merge and then merge over it if we want to remove it. So we don't have to get this little fix hung up on whether we're removing the key or not.
Sounds good to me.
With that in mind, I'm just gonna give it an approval now so we can merge it now. I think with my approval, we have enough, right?
Yeah. Yeah, if someone feels strongly about removing the key, I guess open a PR for that. We can have that discussion there.
All right, let's just merge this then.
For the draft stuff, since it's the last spec thing, can you open Anthony's, can we merge Anthony's like status stuff so we can close Dan's asset packaging, or I guess now Ben's asset packaging PRs?
Yeah, let's find this.
The status fields, it's like even a 188.
So I think this is technically not enough approvals. We need Joe or
Joe.
Steven.
Speaking of Steven. Gotcha.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I've looked at this one yet. Which
Do
is
we
probably my bad.
Do we need supermajority for non-RFCs? For the RFC?
Somebody should just merge this.
Yeah, I don't think we've ever clarified. We really shouldn't. Like the idea of supermajority for, you know,
Yeah. I think we do that for everything.
managerial administrative stuff in this repo is a huge pain, right? But I think
I have quietly in practice, anytime we change template, just merged it after we got some sort of consensus without votes.
yeah.
I would just like to clean house on those draft PRs and get stuff up to date and not
Yeah.
have Anthony's PR drag on forever as well. So
I agree with that. It seems like we could merge this with the rebase. Or we do an update. We don't like to rebase, right?
I guess at bare
You got this, Terrence. You got this.
Does Joe or Steven, I guess Steven just approved it. Do you care? Do you want us to hold and so you can look at the status changes in the PRs? Because that's fine too.
Nobody
No.
really wants that,
Do it.
right?
Do
No,
it.
let's just click.
No.
Let's just click the
Press the
button.
button.
I'm just clicking the button.
All right. So now can we close all Ben's PRs
Yeah,
that
let's
he opened
close
on
them.
Dan's behalf?
Can I do them like
I
this?
actually, I really dislike for the entire time you've been gone, Emily, having to basically talk about them every week.
Yeah, let's just kill him. Something went
GitHub
wrong.
doesn't want you to do it apparently. So
Okay, let's do them one at a time. Oh, no, it did work.
It did. Or
It just
Yeah,
didn't
just gave you
refresh
a
your
fun
view.
message.
The thing that failed was the
Oh.
refresh.
Oh, okay, great. What
JavaScript
about
failed
this thing? Is this also in the same boat?
no, this is the spec PR that I asked to have for the support Dockerfile thing because it's a pretty large chain. So I wanted to make sure that we had an idea of how that would look in the spec before we just
makes
merged
sense.
that RFCN.
Sorry, I've been totally ignoring this because I was lumping it into the ignorable drafts. I can actually take a look at that at some point.
Yeah, I think it's not as simple as just like reviewing it because we need to probably check with Natalie and some of the folks that better understand what's going on with the POC and make sure it's actually in line with that, right? I don't want to just theory craft here. I am interested in like if you think the structure, because like I think I'm introducing a new spec file, and then I think I changed it based on Steven's feedback to not add a new API version and stuff like that. But that I'm hoping we can sort out without the details, but then the details will depend on the POC.
Okay. So I think that takes us to the end of our spec review here. So next on the agenda, we have spec release planning. Let's look at our milestones. We're still reviewing this finalization of the project descriptor.
I feel like there's been a lot of interesting stuff happening with the lifecycle patch on the things that may be worth just going through one more time for the SBOM/bomb legacy bomb. Is that right?
There is a lifecycle patch that allows build patch to specify both formats. And we have also merged in a PR to build pack 08 to make that a requirement. Was there something else you wanted to say on that topic?
I just wanted to just go through basic that from the PR. So yeah, so we're technically you're allowed to do it in 0.7. We just didn't specify it. Is what we're saying.
If we wanted to come up with a way to make edits to older APIs.
I think that's a potentially separate conversation.
That's a separate conversation.
Dig into during release planning.
Yeah.
I just want to just talk and get on the same page since a lot of kind of this stuff happened in, I think, PRs and other discussions. Okay, so that's the plan, right? Like,
yeah, I think
0.7,
Natalie laid
we
it all
need to-
out here in this comment.
Yeah. So 0.7 and 0.8 functionally are going to be the same, more or less, with regards to that part of the spec.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then coming back to the milestones for other things that are going into 08. I think we probably want to take assets out, right? We don't actually have a plan for this. So that's true, right? We, in fact, aren't doing this at all anymore. We'd probably come back and close some of these, but for now, I'm just going to clear the milestone. So we're going to add process-specific working directory and our deprecation, and that's it. Yeah.
Because then we bumped something to 0.9, didn't we?
Yes. We bumped the removing bash stuff to 0.9.
Right.
So I think build pack 08 is actually, if we're really keeping it this small, almost ready to go. Platform 09 is just process specific working directory. And I would argue that we should put the removing bomb key in here if we're going to do it. So I think both of these are very close to being ready to go. Like either way, whether we want to remove the bomb key or not, I think it'll be short work and then we'll have 2 spec releases.
How close are we for that on the life cycle side?
How close?
We're like, I don't know, halfway done. The build pack stuff's basically done. We need to update the label with the process working directory, but that's a small change.
All right, so I think we're close to having 2 new specs, small ones this time, which might be a pattern we'd like to replicate in the future if it goes well.
Well, we still need to remove stacks, so I don't know if there's any spec change that will be small when that happens.
Makes the specs
You
smaller.
just delete things, it's fine.
Cool. Sounds good.
Okay, so moving on to outstanding RFCs. I'm gonna try to go fast here. Make build layers read only for subsequent build blocks is labeled as blocks, so I'm skipping it. I'm skipping both the blocked things. Moving on to
Should we unblock? Actually, if we go back to support doc file, should we unblock that? I think we're at a point where that is true, right, Stephen?
I wasn't around when this got blocked. What was it blocked on originally?
We were blocking on before the holidays. I think you were there actually when we blocked it on some of the POC and other security stuff. You wanted to.
Oh, the RFC.
Yeah,
Yes.
the RFC.
Right. Yes. The RFC is blocked on wanting an outcome around whether or not we're going to implement Conoco, Docker daemon, and Builda versions. And I think we resolved that we are going to implement Conoco and Builda first and in parallel. So I think this can proceed. Was there anything else we needed?
I just wanted to clarify that we wanted to unblock it.
Yes. Yep. Go for it.
we should probably capture that we made some decision about Conoco, Builda, Docker. Okay, so this is unblocked, everyone. Take a look at the most recent versions. System build packs, I think I'm the delinquent one here. I did have a long talk with Joe about this, and I just need to go through and read the text again one more time. I think
Okay.
we're almost ready on that.
Are you aligned, or was it just a long talk?
Yeah, I think to summarize what I hope we are aligned on is that I made the stance that I was talking about was that the hiding build packs is a may. So like a platform may choose to hide system build packs, but it's not like a required thing. The build packs are run just like any other. The build packs that are system build packs are run just like any other build pack. These build plan, they're part of the order. Really what's being changed here is like an interface thing and how builder owners can insert into the order, and the actual execution part of it should remain largely the same.
Does that mean you can't, as a user, like as an interface, like override what is in like system?
No, that's definitely not a part of this. You can disable there. I think there's a couple of flags in there about disabling system build packs, which a platform may or may not expose. But no, that was never the intent either for service owners to like customize system build packs. It's really about platform owners and builder owners.
Okay.
So does that sound about like a good summary, Emily?
Yeah, it does. So the summary of my feelings on this are some level I don't feel like we need it, but if other people feel like we need it, I'm comfortable with that approach to it. I feel like that's the best way to do it, and we can go ahead with that.
I wanted us to remove build plan entries for system build pack so that they're purposefully crippled, so people do not add non-utilities to system build packs, like they do not add like language build packs to as a system build pack. So like if it's just detect false or true.
I don't think that would prevent them from doing that. But in any case, I'm going to let you and Emily fight that out.
Yeah. I feel like what I don't want is more special cases and more complexity that we need to explain to people when they're thinking about how things work. Like, I just want them to be as straightforward as possible. And in some ways, I was loath to introduce this concept, even though I can see why it's useful, because it's just more.
We need more build pack types, is what you're saying.
More types, more complexity, more to explain, more custom concepts. And if we introduce them, I want to keep them, like, at least when they're running, make them as simple as possible, which would be the same as all the rest of the build packs.
I think the issue I had with that was like if we plan on hiding these build packs and they're contributing to the build plan, their provisions
But I'm
or
not.
requirements. What?
But I'm
feel
not.
like-
But I'm not saying hide them. I'm saying a platform may hide them if they like choose to, but that it's not like a required thing. So they will just appear in your list of detected build packs and in the build output, and just like anything else.
The thing we agreed on was that the life cycle wasn't going to do anything to hide these build packs.
Yep.
So it'll be near
Okay.
detect output. The build pack itself might print like, this is the name of me, the build pack, right? Because one of the things I was worried about is if these are utility build packs, they're being used in this way, like, are we going to get into fights about the logs where they have to pretend to not be build packs? And the answer is no, we're just going to let them act like normal. It's just about who adds it to the order. Is it the builder or the platform?
Can we have Sam and you have the build plan discussion offline so we can move on to other RFCs?
Yeah.
Yep.
Or I was going to propose
Or add this to
the
working.
working group.
Sounds good.
Additional exportable letters.
I think
Anything you wanna
this
say
is
about
just blocked on me incorporating the feedback from the last working group discussion.
Project Toml converter.
Blocked.
Yeah, I believe you marked this as blocked
Oh,
because it's
blocked.
contingent on Javier's grand design.
Okay. Is there a reason we don't draft the blocked things? It's really hard for me to notice that little label.
We'll
Can
make
make this
the label-
list. Yeah, we can up this link to say not blocked, right? Later.
Yeah, I can update the link too. But I might need supermajority approval to get that PR in.
Let's use your admin powers to change whatever makes that true. Add run image SBOM.
I think this is just contingent on reviews from you, Emily.
I'm happy to try to do
I
that.
also had one open question at the very bottom.
At the bottom.
Yeah, there's just one open question on what happens if you add that SBOM and someone extends it. How do you check whether it's scale or not?
Add images table. Anything you want to say about this right now?
Oh, you're asking me because I'm the assignee. I think we had some discourse, and are we still waiting for the? I mean, last I checked, I thought we were waiting for the original author, and then having. I think I wrote a comment about basically deciding on how we want to deal with the schema for the URIs or the image URI stuff, right? Does that sound right, Javier?
Yep, correct. I don't think we've come to a consensus on that.
I think I said either Joe or Javier should make a decision here, and then we should move forward with that.
Moving on, support for PACTOML is blocked. Replace positional args to build packs executables with NVARs. Should we put it on the working group to have a conversation about deprecation versus changing the APIs? I think that's the conversation we're having, right?
Sure, sounds good.
Cosine integration. With
Or-
this and the annotations, I want to make a strong case for doing our daemon stuff first. But we
Yeah.
could talk about that at working group as well.
Do you want to just have a topic on daemon in general, not the RFC specifically?
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to rally the troops around the idea that we need to get rid of the daemon sooner rather than later, even though it's going to be a pain and it doesn't give anyone the new feature they want. Because once we do it, everything else will be easier and less annoying. And we'll be able to do things like delete image util instead of adding a bunch of special cases to it, that kind of stuff.
Are you saying you're going to write that RFC too?
I think it's already being worked on, the RFC to remove the daemon, right? I think Juan was right.
It is being worked on. I guess what I'm not a fan of is blocking stuff on that, but we could kind of talk about it in the working group.
Yeah, I feel like as a project, we need to hold the line on priorities sometimes, even for things that we think are a good idea. And to me, if we don't do it now, we're letting the project accumulate even more tech debt. Like eventually we need to pay some of it down. But we can talk about that during working group. Same with the annotations, which I think is very straightforward in its own way, unless you realize that you can't write manifests for daemon images. And then CNCF Slack, is this happening? We moving? What's up with that?
I think
I feel
it's
like I'm signed to all these RFCs, but I'll let Sam talk.
it's mostly sorted. Darren's tried and export out. So what we are planning to do is until we have the pro trial, we can export all of history out. And then once our pro trial ends, we can like give people enough notice, give them clear expectations on how the migration will happen, what would be the downtime, what channels would be migrated over to which channels on the CNCF Slack. And in that interim period, we can just do like a weekly or daily dump so that we don't lose the messages. And then at the end, we'll have to combine them together and send it over to the CNCF folks.
Sounds good.
That's the plan, at least, that I came up with, Sam. Do you know how long that migration takes?
I asked them on So's desk, still waiting for the reply, but I believe it should be like a few minutes. It's just a matter of importing things, unless
into the
Slack
database? Yeah.
takes. Yeah.
Okay. Probably the other thing that has to be decided, maybe not specifically in that RFC, but would just be timing. I think as a group, we'll have to come to a consensus on when we want that to be. The sooner it is, the less dump merging I'll have to do. So I would prefer us to pick some date maybe in the nearer future and not like at the end of the year or something.
From my perspective, and I don't know how other people feel, but I feel like you guys should just go ahead and pick whatever date you want and just say it, and we will all adjust.
Rip the Band-Aid.
For time to, I didn't put times in there for how long do you think we need for people to have notice and not like wake up the next day?
I was gonna say, what is the need for that? Is there a way that we could have like an auto message that says, go here instead? If they try to post a chat in our legacy Slack?
Everybody's signed into announcements automatically. I believe there's a way you can boot, like admins can boot everybody out of all the other channels. Once the migration has happened, we can boot everybody out of every channel, lock them out effectively. And then the last thing in announcement is go to this other place.
And then it's read only as well.
Yeah. Sorry, we don't even have to boot everybody out of everything. Just set it to read only, make announcement, move.
Yeah, I just think Daniel brought up some good points of like you don't want to do it overnight kind of thing,
Yeah.
and you want to give people lead time. So
I think the question is whether it's 1 week of lead time or 2 weeks of lead time.
okay, so that's the window you're thinking.
Yeah.
So is like mid-March, or not mid-February, like 16th or something, or maybe not when we do our CNB meetings, but sometime that week of
Valentine's Day, so we could do a marketing push for our new love for the CNCF.
CNCF Slack, sure.
Got Joe's name all over it.
Yeah.
All right. Sounds good. We're only 7 minutes over, which is better than usual. See y'all later.